Thanks, Mariah. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress. He explained how and why the personal information of millions of users was made available for sale by a foreign company without their consent. An AR-15 just like this one here was used in the Parkland shooting, and ever since, survivors have taken to social media to call out companies that offer special benefits to the NRA. And as a result, Walmart, Kroger, Enterprise, and Dick's all announced their relationship with the NRA is over. After the largest data leak in Facebook history, I hit the streets to find out if local residents trust the app with their information. I'm Lexsey Marrara, and I'll have that story coming up next. Since the breach, Facebook's value has dropped $58 billion in a single week, and users are now calling on the government to regulate social media sites. Hashtag Never Again created a movement following the Parkland shooting that has raised millions of dollars, attracted celebrity support, and pushed the issue of gun control into the national spotlight. Megan Guerra joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more. Megan? Thanks for that report, Megan. The March for Our Lives petition currently has over 360,000 signatures. Well, that wraps up this week's Social Square Report. Thanks, Mariah. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress. He explained how and why the personal information of millions of users was made available for sale by a foreign company without their consent. The hashtag Delete Facebook has been tweeted more than 400,000 times in the past 30 days, after it was revealed that Facebook users' data was shared with Cambridge Analytica, a firm that provided data to the Trump campaign in 2016. But how many Americans trust Facebook with their information?
I wouldn't delete it just because it's a good way to stay in touch with people, and I just limit the amount of information I put on there.
I don't trust these kinds of social media. So the only social media that I use is the LinkedIn, and that's it.
I don't know whether Facebook can trust itself, honestly, because once information is shared, it can just continue to be shared.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has called the leak a big mistake, but the controversy over the misuse of data has raised questions about whether Facebook does enough to protect information. And communication professor Nick Bowman says Facebook users need to seek change.
I'm not going to delete my profile. I'm going to demand that they change for me. They need me more than I need them. Because as much as I like Facebook, and I'm not leaving, I could function without it.
Facebook has up to 1.4 billion daily users, and 87 million of those users had their information leaked with Cambridge Analytica. This has caused people from all over the country to delete their account. Cambridge Analytica said it had bought the information from This Is Your Digital Life app, but deleted all data received after they realized it wasn't in line with Facebook policy. And in wake of the data leak, Zuckerberg has published a new version of its terms of service and data use policy. Since the breach, Facebook's value has dropped $58 billion in a single week, and users are now calling on the government to regulate social media sites. Thanks, Megan. The NRA boycott is gaining traction since it began in February. To date, more than a dozen major companies have cut ties with the NRA. But how do local residents feel about the boycott? The hashtag boycott NRA has been trending on Twitter with over 2.1 million hits after the Parkland, Florida school shooting left 17 people dead. This has caused major U.S. companies to cut ties with the NRA. But how many Americans are on board with these decisions?
I don't want to give up my gun. So this is really scary to me. I want them to stay around.
We do have a Second Amendment for a reason, and I also think that the NRA, they cannot predict someone's act of violence and their mental state.
I don't agree with neither one of them. I think that the problems start at home with the parents.
And it's for that reason that shooting survivors have turned social media into a way to get their word out and to help keep gun control in the headlines. Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom says how important the social media advocacy is.
I'm so proud of him. For years, we've not seen this activism, and I'm really glad that it's coming again. And that's why, that's why we moved when I was long time ago pushing the voting age down to 18. I'm so glad to see they actually are doing something, and hopefully something's going to change.
An AR-15 just like this one here was used in the Parkland shooting, and ever since, survivors have taken to social media to call out companies that offer special benefits to the NRA. And as a result, Walmart, Kroger, Enterprise, and Dick's all announced their relationship with the NRA is over. Teenage shooting survivors have turned the hashtag boycott NRA into a nationwide movement, and the NRA is firing back at the 18 companies, saying, quote, "It's a shameful display of political and civic cowardice," end quote. The NRA claims 5 million members and takes in tens of millions of dollars each year through its supporters. The money is used to fight gun regulations. I know we just talked about this in our interview, but just go ahead and tell everyone what you think the advantages and disadvantages of social media are. And I know you play a big role on Facebook.
I really think it's changed the whole structure. When I ran for county commission, I was the first person in this community that used Facebook and got the message out. And I think it's really important. The thing I really like about Facebook is you get all the information out, then the people can make the decisions of why the politician or leader is making those decisions. Now, on the other side, one of the biggest problems is when someone gives out false information and it keeps printing it 3 or 4 or 5 times, then people think of it as gospel. I think the perfect example of looking how Facebook spread nationwide to all the high school students to say, we want to have a march. They first walked out for 17 minutes, and then to me, this is the most amazing thing. I grew up during the Vietnam War, and this surpasses it. This is just unbelievable, and I'm so proud of the high school students and the media using this, and it's not using the basic technology. And, I'm just thrilled. And just one more thing I have to say, and I will say, Philadelphia Eagles, Eagles, I'm very proud, but using the media, I was able to watch everything that went on in Philadelphia, couldn't be there. So it's really brought a lot more people together, but also with that, though, Lexsey, comes responsibility. And what bothers me is people need to be responsible. You as a journalist have certain criteria. Anybody who puts on Facebook does not have that criteria, so their motives may be different. So that's something we have to monitor and watch, and I think maybe the government might have to kind of step in and say, if you're going to do like news programs, there's certain criteria you have to follow. So that's what the interview was about, and I'm really looking forward to WWVU being a part of a lot more of the county commission.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and turn the camera back around. All right, everyone, stay tuned for that story coming up next week on WVU News.